What next?
Are you happy?
Of course, 100%.
That's all that matters.
No, I disagree.
You're happy.
Because I don't follow because I'm happy.
If you're
I follow
happy-
because it's the truth. In Islam, we believe it is recommended, but it's not obligation.
No, but if you look at all of them, you know.
It's not an obligation. That means
No.
if you don't want to do it,
No.
you have the capacity not to do it.
But if you look at the Catholic Church, they are encouraged to have lots of children. If you
Yeah,
look at
Christianity maybe, but I'm saying Islam. Yeah.
If you look at our friends in Stamford Hill, they're also having too many children.
But what would be I will just wanted to say that in Islam it's not obligation, but I also want to ask, what do you find the problem with having children, for example, personally?
Religion?
No, having children.
No, it's a luxury, not a choice.
Do you have
or a
children
right.
yourself?
No, I
Okay,
don't want children.
okay.
I'm quite happy with 2 horses and 2 cats.
You know, some people, they want to have children, right? Many people.
No, women,
for example, especially because it's a part of them.
Women are biologically tuned
Yes.
to want to have babies.
Yes.
And the majority of women do want to have children.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
That is true.
So do you think we should rob them from that freedom?
I think that
We wouldn't be born if we didn't have children. We wouldn't be here as well.
No, that is true.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
Yes.
of course, I understand that there's a human desire to have children. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand that for most people.
Yes.
And women definitely they have a cycle, a hormonal balance. You know, where they get
I understand.
desperate.
I understand. Yeah.
But
They have an expiry date if you put it in
they have
very
an expiry date
in
as
very
well.
like basic
They do have an
terms, yeah.
expiry date.
In basic terms, non-offending terms. I'm not trying to offend.
they do have.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not offended by
Yeah.
So, the problem is, so that's, and also you can't micromanage the human race.
Yes.
But if you look at the human race as a whole around the world, it is impressive what we're doing. And
That's why I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I'm doubting that you're saying we're the most intelligent species. I'm doubting it personally.
No, there is an argument to say that we are, on the one hand, we're super intelligent and science, clever in our science and everything. On the other hand, we are crazy.
In a sense, we
do
are
crazy things to each
in
other.
In a sense, we are. So, just the point you said, the problem with the religion, right? So, if you see that problem you mentioned about that having children, one problem. It's one problem.
Minor problem.
Yeah, but it's not in Islam. Do you have any other problems in Islam?
I was brought up with our religion, and my father used to tell me religion is for weak, and I believe that.
Christianity, you mean?
All religion.
What? No, but can I ask a simple question, right? And would you agree with me in a rational basis? Can I say that there is a fallacy in logic called the fallacy of generalization, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The fallacy of generalization entails that you look at.
There is some truth in generalization.
Sorry?
There is truth in generalization. You can generalize about people when there is truth in it.
It can be true. I agree.
Yes.
Like you can say, you don't have to give examples anyways. It's a simple concept, right? We can say generally all men are different than women, right? Of course, yeah, they are different than women in a sense.
That is one. You are absolutely true when you say all men are different than women. And one of the frustrating things about one thing that frustrates me moment is political correctness is trying to somehow diminish the differences between men and women, and they shouldn't be diminished.
Yeah, of course, that's a topic we can come to as well. But I was coming to the generalization of religion. That's separate. This here, you cannot have a true generalization. I'll tell you why. Because that claim requires one thing. You looking actually and studying these religions and what do you have to say. If I do that, then I'm able to actually generalize a thing. Would you agree with me? If I have not read throughout the Quran, if I have not read the Christian tradition,
I've never read any of these religions.
Oh yeah. So how would you just tell me honestly? How can I generalize on something I have never read?
Well, look, if you take religion as a whole, you can take.
For example, sorry to cut you. You said one thing was general about having children, and I showed you it's not general true. So I'm giving you an example.
No.
So
I mean, human nature is very complicated. So if you take religion. There are good things to religion. But there are also terrible things about religion. So you take often in religious.
Can I just say one thing? I'm defending me personally. Yeah, maybe I haven't said, but I'm Muslim, right?
I can see.
Yeah. So I'm defending Islam. So what do you find personally with Islam? I would just with our religion, right? Because Christianity, I have a lot of problems as well, like you. In other religions, I have other problems. But with Islam specifically,
take Muslim religion,
Yeah, please. Yeah.
You have one extreme to the other.
Give me an example. For what do you mean by that?
So you talk at one end, you have the sort of the more moderate forms of Islam, where people integrate into society very well and are accepting of people's differences.
Where do you get that idea from?
Well, it's true. If you look around the country.
But would you agree with me? And I think you're a very rational person, right? Do you agree with me if I make a claim, I should support it with evidences?
Do you agree with
If I make a claim, I should support it with evidences. Do you agree?
But also your gut feeling can tell you things. So
Yeah, but I mean about things that are literature, for example. If I say something is within a specific literature,
the problem is
because I disagree kind of about the moderate, I disagree with it.
So you don't think Muslims are moderate?
I think no, I don't think there's a moderate and extreme. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, can I explain what I mean by that? I understand who you're talking about, but can I explain? When you say Muslims behaving, right? There is moderate and extreme. I agree. Behavior of Muslims. But I'm defending the idea of Islam, which I believe is perfect, right? The religion aspects of it. Individuals, I will be the first person to be with you. There's a lot of problems in Muslims. I'll be the first person with you standing in the line, right?
Okay,
so I mean the idea of Islam. That's what I'm referring
there's
to.
a difference. But
it's just one idea.
That's true, but the people interpret things in different ways.
Does Islam give a solution for that?
I don't know.
It does.
But let me say, let me take you to
example.
A good example of where religion has often. If you take human sexuality, for example, which every man.
I don't know why everyone likes to talk about controversial topics.
It shouldn't be controversial.
Yeah. Sorry?
It shouldn't be controversial.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I agree, but I mean why I don't people like, because I spoke to the previous person maybe and the two previous people spoke about the same thing. So it's like everyone wants to do. Yeah, go ahead.
If you take
yes.
a man's sexuality,
yes,
if he's honest with himself,
okay,
nobody's sexuality is as different as your fingerprint.
I don't understand.
Your sexuality is as different as your best friend's sexuality. Is very different to your best friend.
Do you mean because so there is a separation that is common between sex and gender, yeah? Which is they say that sex-wise there's two types, right? Which male and female scientifically,
yes.
And then general identity, which is probably maybe you're trying gender identity.
No,
sorry,
I'm talking
gender
about
identity.
Sexuality.
It depends on what you mean by that, because I don't understand.
Well,
the tendencies, their what they like and what they don't like sexually, preferences.
Yes,
Preferences.
Full range.
Yeah, you can have sexual preferences. I agree. Yeah, you can have different sexual preferences.
If you have one end, you have a straight man, and the other end, you have a gay man.
Yeah.
Most people are somewhere in between.
I personally would disagree. As a man, like you just, of course, for me at least, as you could be, I would say it's just.
Disagree,
yeah.
But many men are.
No, but then now you're making judgment about me. I can say you also like it's not. I want to disagree. I know that for sure.
You know what you are, maybe.
Yes.
You might know.
I know. I want as well.
You might know what you want, but if you take, I mean, it could be something as simple as this. So you have two men, both like women, yes. And they could be two best friends.
That thing in the middle, some people refer to it as bisexual.
Somewhere in the middle.
So that's what you're referring to, right?
No, but I'm talking about a full range. So if you take...
But bisexual is in the middle, isn't it?
It's sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I'm saying it's in the middle.
Yeah.
You have opposite... But if you... Let's just say... Okay, so you've identified three sexualities. You've got straight, middle, bi, and gay. The majority of men are somewhere at the straight end of the spectrum, but no men are the same.
I think that's another generalization, right? And I think
that is true.
Okay, can you give me evidence for that?
If you think about, it's understanding your sexuality is. A lot of men don't even understand this. So if you
but that's not this.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll let you finish.
So if you go in, if you've got two best friends, they both like women.
Okay.
One of your friends, one of you could be really dominant and with a woman, and the other could be the absolute opposite and want the woman to dominate him. And that in itself is a difference in sexuality.
That's I'm saying that's a sexual preference, right? But I agree with
It's still
I
a
agree
variant on your sexuality.
I agree there might be yes sexual preferences, but maybe what I'm disagreeing with, which is not making clear, it's not like there is a man who's this is what I'm trying to say, 80% inclining to women and 20% inclined to man. That's what I meant. I disagree with that personally. Unless you want to say you put him on the bisexual kind of goal. But I'm saying if someone is straight, that's what I'm trying to say. He's 0% inclined sexually to men, 100% inclined sexually to women. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, but there's still a lot of things in the middle.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. People can have sexual preferences, right? And you would agree with me there's a lot of wrong sexual preferences like bestiality or incest or
let me tell you what is the dividing line. The dividing line is when it's not consenting and when something isn't consenting and understanding.
Sorry? Okay, let's use, can I use your principle? If there is no consent and understanding. A brother and a sister, consenting, understanding, taking the measurements to not have no children. Is that okay? Brother and a sister.
Yes.
Having intercourse together.
Yes.
They are using all preventions. They are consenting and they're happy with each other. Still wrong.
Is it?
Of course it is. Are you saying now that incest is okay?
I tell you why. Let me just put it another way.
Are you saying incest is okay? I'm trying to understand. Are you saying it's okay to have intercourse with your own mother? With your daughter?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is,
because I'm seeing society going very bad when it comes to that. That's why I'm making this. This is a red line now, yeah?
No,
to me.
Society
yes.
dictates that it's wrong.
No, now we're talking about subjective morality. Okay, let's talk about subjective and objective morality. Do you believe morality is just a figment of the mind?
Morality
Subjective meaning it depends on the human mind. That is what is right or wrong.
Morality is... morality covers a whole wide range of issues, but we all...
Is it dependent on humans? Because subjectivity means, I'll explain what I mean to clarify, means that something is only wrong because an individual thinks that action is wrong. But if the individual is not there, that action is just an action, there is no right or wrong in it. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is,
right and wrong is dependent on you, your ideas, your understandings. This is subjective morality.
No. Human nature is much more complicated than that.
No, I'm saying what I'm trying to say is if there is no humans on planet Earth, I'm giving an example from an Islamic point of view. If there is no humans on planet Earth, right? Raping an innocent woman is still wrong.
Of course it's wrong because you're forcing yourself.
But why is it wrong? In your understanding?
In my understanding, the reason why I believe that rape is wrong is because it's when a man or a woman forces himself on somebody else, it has to be wrong.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because you then got two not consenting adults.
So what?
That is wrong.
Why is it wrong? Your society told you that? What if a different society tells you it's not?
Well, you're getting into the wrong.
No, I'm getting now to subjective and objective. I'll tell you, look, if you do not have a moral code that is objective outside of your personal ideas and understandings, then it's just your personal opinion.
The moral code of the United Kingdom, or the laws of the United Kingdom,
just only in the United Kingdom. Only in the United Kingdom.
Every country has a different moral code.
No. Have you been to? Yeah. That's agree. So I'm saying in some countries, or in some people who live in jungles and things like that, it would be okay. Can be okay for them to rape a woman. In their culture.
Yeah, they think it's right.
Yeah. So I'm okay. What is the basis that we are saying, people in the UK, that is wrong? What is the evidences that we can tell them what you're doing is wrong and what we're saying is right?
Over hundreds of years, our laws in this country have developed and changed.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say as well. Yeah.
And in this country, we are guided by our law.
How do you know now is better than it used to be?
Well, again, that is subjective because
that's the issue I'm trying to say. If it's subjective, right, then you cannot really say something is right or wrong. It's just depending on what you think at the time.
But one of the things is, for a society For society, for life to be good and society to be good in the United Kingdom, we need to all get on with each other, no matter
Sure.
who we
Now
are.
you're talking about the outcome and the consequences, practicality of it. But I'm just talking about the idea, right? I'll explain what I mean, right? For example, I'll give you the alternative in the Islamic understanding, right? In Islam, we believe humans are subjective beings, right? And there are emotions, understandings. You can have something subjectively, think about something, and it can be wrong. You can have emotions for someone, it can be wrong, right? So there is a lot of wrong things that we do because we are deficient human beings. So we need a code, a moral command that is outside of our understanding and our ideas that are different, that we have arrogance. You don't accept my opinion, I don't accept your opinion, etc. So if we have a moral code that comes from an entity, whatever the entity is, and that code is objective.
But is it not true that really a religion is politics?
Again, generalization.
Is it a generalization?
Yes.
Is it not true that religion is really politics under another name?
Not Islam. Is it politics to tell you to cut your nails, how to eat food, what is the right way
It could
to?
be.
How is it? Tell me.
Well, the politics of this country they invade your life to some degree, but in other countries, the politics of a dictatorship.
You believe in anarchy?
Do I believe in anarchy? No.
Should we have zero laws?
No, it is a good thing that society has laws. Yes,
So there must be restrictions on humans, because look, you might be a good person, right? Another person might not be a good person. You might
plenty
want.
of bad people.
Yeah, that's it. So then we must have what we
Also,
call.
men are all hypocrites.
Thank you, I agree. So we must have what we call a law.
Morocco last year, I had the time of my life, and I tell you now, one of the great things about Morocco was the freedom I saw.
Oh, okay.
So,
Can I say one thing on that? Another subjective term. Someone's freedom can be another person's restrictions. Right. So to me, look, as anyone can use subjective terms, right? We can disagree, you can say this, but in reality, there's still a real reality exists, right? So we need to kind of look at reality. Is there really something which is correct, something which is wrong? In reality, leaving aside human beings and if there is, look, before human beings existed on planet Earth, there was still things that are objectively right or wrong. Would you agree? Just like raping a woman, like I said, for example.
The animal kingdom has some rules. But
No, before the animal kingdom as well.
So what was that?
I'm saying if there was no animal kingdom or humans or anything, any life on planet Earth, right? Is it still wrong, the concept of invading yourself on other people or raping a woman, stealing the money for other people, killing innocent people?
It's a very deep conversation.
Now we say as Muslims, what is wrong is always wrong. It does not matter what people here think, right? It's not our understanding. We're not the ones who decide it.
But in religion,
Islam or religions? Always when you generalize, I will tell you.
they all have peculiarities.
Look, someone who read religious scripture is an advocate of not generalizing. Why? When I read other scriptures, I saw that there is great differences between the texts. I cannot apply a general rule to everything.
For how long have you been a very religious man?
Since I was 19, 20, something like
family?
that. My family,
Less so.
some. Depends on the people, yeah?
Your mother and father?
These are just personal questions. I would not like to basically share them in public.
What I'm trying to say...
Some of them are, as I said, some of them are not as much as the others. And that's in every family, by the way, right? That's in every family. So I have people very close in my family that are not, for example, practicing, right? The point is this. Why did I stop practicing? That's what you should ask, right? That's the question. I researched. I was born in a family, right, which is a Muslim family, right? That Muslim family gives you some religious book to read, which is called the Quran. They tell you that's from God. When I read that religious scripture, do you know what it tells me? Do not just follow what you're born in. Maybe your ancestors were not guided. Maybe they didn't know. Do not just follow as a blind follower. Research, study. So what I did, I researched Christianity, I researched Hinduism, I look at Sikhism, I look at the major religions, Buddhism, so I can know whether Islam is true as it claims to be true or not.
Why did you suddenly become so interested in all these religions?
The beginning point, the turning point you're asking, I thought about death. One day, which is what people hate to think about.
You're too young to think about death.
Not really. It depends on, look, the mentality of a person or the wisdom of a person is not restricted to his age. That's something I would say personally, yeah? If someone thinks that, then he did not deal with enough people in his life. I thought about death, yeah? I realized, look, we are humans. We live. Are we going to live forever? No. Okay, what do I want in my life? I want to be president, yeah? Or it's too big, yeah? Let's say I want to be I'm working in a company, I want to be the boss. Okay, I'm the boss, what next? I want to buy a wife, okay. I want to get a wife. I want to buy a car. I want to do this. I want to become the president. What next?
Are you happy?
Of course, 100%.
That's all that matters.
No, I disagree.
You're happy.
Because I don't follow because I'm happy. I follow because it's the truth.
If you're happy and you respect others...
Happiness is a consequence of what I follow.
No.
That's what I believe. I'm speaking about me now.
Happiness is a state of mind.
No.
Yes.
Can I tell you something about the Quran, yeah? Quran never mentions happiness in this life fully. Do you know why?
Yes, but
Because it's temporary. You're happy for one day, you're upset for the next day. Are you happy? You've been happy all your life, every day?
My life is good.
No, every day, every single day.
Yes.
You never been upset in your life.
Well,
let's be honest with ourselves. Like it's temporary.
Very few days in my whole life.
Okay, but it's temporary. That proves temporary.
No, because if you think about it, it is the chemical balance in your mind.
So can I rape someone because I'm happy? Okay, so the right and wrong is the key point. It's not just what makes me happy. Okay, some people, you would agree with me, are pedophiles and they believe they're happy if they have an intercourse. Who told you they don't? They go, some people of them, they go, they rape. Look, the point...
You don't know a pedophile, so you don't really...
No, we're looking at the books of psychology, the psychological disorders, what people say when they have a case with a pedophile, they discuss with him, the questions and the answers he gives. What he says on himself is what he says, right? Do you think it's a problem? Some of them are asked, do you think it's a problem?
They say no problem.
They say no, yeah.
But
so if they want...
What is important is you are happy here and you respect others.
Okay, now you're adding a little bit.
Oh,
That's
so
what,
that-
yeah.
that is the two
So that's what
things
that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I can restrict my happiness if my happiness tells me to do something wrong. You agree?
Your happiness tells you.
Something makes me happy, but it's wrong. Should I do it or should I leave my happiness because it's wrong? That is the turning point, right? That's the turning point. You might want to do things yourself, but you're restricted by law or restricted by knowing it's something wrong, right?
It doesn't mean it's going to make you happy.
No, you believe it makes you happy. When you do it, you're happy. There's many things that people do.
Then you find that if it's not right, then you
No.
do find another way of making yourself happy.
Thank you. So you restrict that thing. That's what I'm trying to say. So in Islam, that's the whole point. Yes, happiness is okay, no problem. We're not against it. But there is restrictions. When it comes to the moral code that is divine, that comes from the Creator, not from you, with evidences.
But men aren't moral.
Sorry?
Men aren't moral.
Again, another generalization. I disagree.
That's so true.
I disagree. How did you live with every human being, every man in your life to know?
But I know men. And I know
No, you
men
just
are
said
much-
all men. Men are.
Okay, but
Yeah.
90% of men are not moral.
Look, the Quran says majority of the people are not good. So I'm not disagreeing with you.
So if you
But
take,
there is moral percentage, and the Quran only asks you to be as good as you can.
if you look at
But do you just the important point I wanted to ask? Sorry, do you actually believe in a creator? Do you believe there is some entity that created the universe, not just a man sitting on a chair?
evolution.
Okay, evolution is about humans. It doesn't deal with the even Richard Dawkins says, laymen think evolution undermine God, but evolution does not undermine God. Why?
Evolution is about
Can you define evolution for me?
evolution is the creation and the movement of the.
Who defines it?
of the-
Who defines evolution like that?
Well, if you
Which scientist on the planet Earth defines evolution like that?
if you take,
You know, I'm willing to say I don't know anything about science if you give me that
no,
definition.
if you take
Yeah.
the coronavirus, for example,
Okay.
the mutations are an evolving.
No,
part of an
no
evolving-
still, I define evolution as the people who actually, by the way, Darwinian evolution. Because the term evolution, you can use it, Alexander, you can use it subjectively, and you can use it specifically about Darwinian evolution.
If you take human race, we're all different colours, yes?
Okay.
We've evolved to be different colours.
Yeah, what you're saying is still within the definition. Definition, I'm saying evolution is the single cell organism that evolved to becoming humans and animals and all of that. That's fine. I'm talking about the universe now. When there was no humans, no, where's the evidence for that?
If you just think
There's no mutations and cells mutating. The whole theory is based on biology. It's a biological theory. Now we're referring to the cosmology. That's a completely different field. Physics.
evolving.
Sorry?
The universe is evolving.
With the general word, not Darwinianly evolving. Evolving with the word that be changing. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm saying, where did it come from? It has a beginning. Where did the energy, matter, and space come from? Right? Who started that? No. You're saying nobody knows. We say we know.
So you think it's God?
I'll tell you, it's not what I think. You would look. Let's take a rational basis. This bike. Who made this bike requires a few things. A, this plastic requires iron, right? Requires certain things. Otherwise, he will not be able to make the bike. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. The creator of the universe also requires not to be restricted by time and space, because time and space continues started the universe. That's why we cannot understand what was before the Big Bang, because we're restricted by time and space. Two, it needs a magnificent energy to create these atoms, that each atom has a magnificent, okay. It requires also some sort of knowledge to have all of these laws and constants in the world. And it has to be independent of what it created. So something independent, not restricted by time and space, knowledgeable and powerful in a way we cannot imagine. What is that? I will let you tell me. What is that?
I don't know how we evolved, but I just, you know...
No, not what evolved. I'm talking about the universe. Okay, no, you don't want to... Look, be honest with me. What is your problem with believing in a creator? Because look, I find it with people, it's not rationality. Because when we have rational arguments which are clear, no one can argue with... Yes.
I find, for the same reason you think I'm irrational, but
I don't think you're irrational. I think you are rejecting it for a reason. You have a reason.
Look, we are brought up differently, yes? So
not about bringing up. I was born so you should believe it. I didn't say that.
I'm saying that
Yeah.
is you are a product of your family or parents.
Well, I was born in a country more secular than the UK. I went to school there as well. So look, assuming, look, from a very young age, if you live in a country like this or a secular country, you come across other people of different faith and different. You start questioning from a very young age. Is what you're upon right or wrong? Why are these people different? So don't compare me to just someone who's just. It's not a fair comparison, yeah.
I don't know. No,
okay. So there's no difference in bringing up.
What I'm saying is, if you have a religious background or even a non-religious background, it's the seeds of your non-religion or religion do come from your family.
If my argument was based on a subjective outcome of my family, you would be able to give me a rational answer to it. Any atheist I come across would also be able, which no one have, any atheist would be able also to give me answers for the questions I'm asking. Can you create something that requires power without power? No. Can you create something that requires knowledge without knowledge?
You're taking your belief from a book.
Sorry? Did I use any verse of the Quran supporting God so far? No. I didn't use any verse of the Quran yet. No, I only use the rational reasoning, looking at the universe, coming to conclusions. Now what you're doing now, with all due respect, is ad hominem. You're attacking my person rather than dealing with the argument. You're saying subjective. Yeah.
Look, the difference between somebody that is religious and somebody who's non-religious is as different as somebody voting Conservative and somebody voting for Labour.
I disagreed with that.
Yes, it's true, because
it's a claim.
I'm a Conservative voter. Nobody on this earth would ever get me to change for a Labour Party. And I voted to leave.
Is that an open-minded thing to say?
No, it begins with the principles of my belief in.
Do you see how you're biased towards what you believe?
No, we all have bias.
I'm not.
Of course we do.
If you say, I'll give you a challenge, and this is a challenge to anyone who comes here, and I make this challenge repeatedly. Islam makes claims, yeah? The Quran has challenges. If you disprove a challenge, I'll leave Islam the next day. Why? I'll tell you why. That's a claim now. I'll tell you why. The Quran says, for example, if this was from other than Allah, you will find in it much contradiction. If someone brought to me a clear-cut contradiction, do you know what I'm going to say? The book says it's not from God because it says if there's a contradiction, it's not from God. Why would I believe something that it says it's not from God? Now look, now how long have we been talking so far?
20 minutes, half an hour. Well, I can see.
Could you? No. Let me finish. You know what I'm going to say. You know someone for 30 minutes. You're judging how they perceive religion.
I can take a look from you.
This is what I call personally preconceived notion of individuals. Now, and this is the societal influence on you as a person. It's not me that is influenced by my family. You personally influenced with the Western society personally.
My lack of belief in a God, it comes from my early years. My politics comes from the way I lead my life and the way
Your society.
Society, and I believe.
I'm not taking from society.
Not what?
Because I'm not taking my beliefs from society because they can be right, I can be wrong, and there is different societies, different beliefs. No, I'm taking it from divine revelation. That I have evidence as divine revelation. Okay, let me ask you this: are we restricted by the laws in the universe?
I don't know what the laws of the universe are.
Laws of physics, laws of gravity, laws of physics.
I know what the laws of the United Kingdom. Well, I don't know much about physics, but I do know.
Can you fly now?
I can't. I wish I
Okay,
could.
so we are restricted now, right now, fly.
I wish I could.
Okay, so we are restricted by. This is a simple thing. I don't know why people sometimes do this. It's a simple thing. We are restricted by the laws in the universe.
Conversation is very typical of somebody who has a very strong passion for religion.
I challenge you to find someone that said the exact thing I said.
No, I've discussed many times with people.
Yes.
About their religious
Generalization, ad hominem. Let's deal with the argument. Let's deal with the argument. You're not dealing with the argument. You're not dealing with the argument.
The passion
Yes.
is always similar.
Does passion necessitate that the conclusion is wrong?
I'm not saying that you.
No, I'm asking. Does it?
You truly believe what you're telling me?
Me truly believing or not? Does it disprove the claim? Can the claim still be true?
I suppose anything could be true.
So let's look at the claim. Why you're focused on what I think, what I believe, how I perceive? Let's focus on the claim.
One of the great things about London is our diversity, is our differences. That is one of the great things.
I agree. I love it.
About London.
It was there in Mecca. It was there in Mecca at the time of the Prophet. There was Jews. There was Christians. There was every type of. There was other religions living in society. They had their own courts to rule in their marriage issues and things like that. Throughout Islamic history, we don't have any problem with diversity.
Are you sure about that?
100%. Do you see like I'm a person who would have a problem with diversity?
Right,
Look, I can disagree with something you personally agree with, but I would not impose myself on you or treat you differently because you believe that thing. No, that's not what Islam preaches. Islam preaches that we have a rational discussion, put forward the logical evidences, and then the other person he uses ad hominem and generalizations.
When you see these demonstrations outside schools,
About
two recently.
About what?
One was about a teacher showing the cartoon of the Prophet Muhammed, and one was about
the Charlie Hebdo
sexuality.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
One was
I
about,
was also asked about it. People like controversial things. Anyways, yeah.
And one was asked about the.
Can we deal with the first topic first?
Tell me about the cartoon.
Okay, sure.
Is it offensive
To Muslims?
to show a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad? Yes.
Oh, to make a cartoon making fun of Prophet Muhammad, of course, is offensive.
Why is it offensive?
Because you're making fun of.
Okay.
If you didn't allow me to even say why. He said why, then he said okay. Like, let me at least say why. Look, Muslims, they love their parents, of course. Yeah, you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Humans love their parents generally. Yeah, Muslims especially there is an emphasis on loving your parents and being good to them. Muslims love their parents. Yeah. To us, afterlife is more important than any human being. Yeah. Therefore, we love Prophet Muhammad even more than our parents. Yeah. Now I want you to look at this. If someone makes an offensive cartoon of my father or my mother, I will be offended, of course. Now, if someone makes an offensive cartoon of someone I love more than my mother and father, who actually led me to guidance, led me to truth,
What would you do?
led me to. Sorry.
What would you do?
In a country like this, nothing.